Welcome in to DNVR Bets Daily. No music today because we're coming to you from a different setup, and it's kind of nice, Andre. We're coming to you from the bookends of DNVR here. You got
That's
you
right.
set up in the old office as you had a little bit of technical difficulties from home,
Yes.
and then I am set up from the new DNVR office, aka the DNVR bar, the pride and joy of DNVR, the apple of my eye, a place that I put many, many hours of work into and have yet to see any of the fruits of that labor. But it'll come. One day it will come. And we're really, really excited to be here. And I'm hyped to be coming to you from the bar. You get a little sneak peek at what our studios will look like in kind of the bird's eye view of the bar up here. So
Yeah.
excited to be here. I love this place so much. Anyways, you want to tell us what happened to your home studio?
Yeah. So yesterday when we got done and we were going over our show notes, I told you how my makeshift studio at home had was having some was a little warm. So I hooked up a very small fan and had that running. Well, about after we got disconnected and the fan had been running for about 10 minutes, I just like that, all the electricity went out in my little makeshift studio. Couldn't get an electrician out today. We'll have to wait till tomorrow morning. So luckily I live so close to the old offices and we still have them, and was able to come by here and do 2 segments of this show.
There you go. So we've got a really fun show today. Andre's anonymous sources in Germany are going to join us for a Bundesliga preview show and really give us some great insights on that league over there. And as I mentioned on the interview with them, we're probably talking about the best active league in the world right now.
Sure.
I love me some KBO, but it's not quite at the level of Bundesliga. That is top tier, soccer right there, right alongside, La Liga and
Premier League.
Premier League, of course. Some of the best teams in the world compete in Bundesliga. So excited to have those guys, and those are nationally televised games here. A lot of them in the U.S. So those, everyone knows betting on live sports is a lot more fun than betting on KBO while you're sleeping. But we do the best with what we have. So excited for some Bundesliga this weekend. Excited to show you guys that video and that interview that we have with them. But first, got to talk about last night. 2-1 for me, 3-2 for you. We're both back on the winning side of things.
Yes.
At least last night. I am on the winning side of things overall. You're working your way back. I respect the grind up to 500. And Andre, we were very close because you had Dino's money line with me as well, right?
No, I just took. Oh, wait. I'm looking at. I just had the over for Dino's Bears.
Well, that's important
also
here too.
Impacted, yes.
Okay, so I was on the verge of a 1-2 night, which would have just been devastating.
Terrible.
And let's actually go to the video here. We're in the 9th inning. The Dinos are down by 1, and there's 1 out. They've been stifled all day by this Doosan pitching staff. Things are looking dangerous. Let's roll the tape. All right, so we start the inning with a little leadoff single.
Okay.
Love it. We can work with that. And oh man, we're having some technical difficulties on the video here. There we go. 1st and 3rd.
Okay. I can't believe this got this out of hand.
It's a walk. It's a walk. Oh, he's sweating. Red bat. You don't like the red bat guys.
The red bat's upset me.
All right, so there we go. Tie game. Bases loaded. 1 out.
Beautiful. Still though, no over hit.
Yep, still short of the over. Tags 1. And it touches down. That's gonna clear him.
Oh man.
Well, now you're feeling good because you have your over.
Yep.
Oh, but this guy goes ahead and drops one into left field as well. Let's score another run.
I love how the guys in the KBO, they just hit it to all fields. It's not just jacks. And there it is on cue.
All right, I think you guys get the point here.
Whoa.
They run away with it. They end up winning 12-6. All in the ninth inning. They cover the over. They go ahead and win, cover the money line, and really helped us out there. So shout out to the KBO once again for coming through for us.
Legendary.
And with that, I think now would be a good time to toss over. We had our friends Luca and Simon on for a really fun conversation about the Bundesliga. Luca is a diehard Broncos fan who is a big member of the DNVR community.
Oh.
Simon co-hosts their podcast together. He's actually a 49ers fan, but he also likes the Broncos. So two good members of the DNVR family here. We decided to bring them on all the way from over in Germany to get them on for this conversation. So, Allie, can we roll that tape of the conversation with those guys? All right. Well, you've heard all about Andre's sources over in Germany, and we're pleased to unveil them. Our friends from the Cover 2 podcast over there, Luca and Simon. Guys, it's great to have you on.
Hey, hello. Returning the favor.
And it's a holiday over there, so I guess it's appropriate for us to wish a happy German Father's Day to Professor Dre, the math magician.
Thank you. There you go.
Well, first and foremost, you guys are big Broncos fans, and obviously you have a football-based podcast out there in Germany. So I want to start with a little bit of Broncos talk. Luca, I'll start with you. Where do you have the Broncos at in terms of their record this year?
Switching between about 9-7 and 10-6 right now. I believe they will improve. I believe they will have a winning record, but I don't know. Maybe playoffs are a possibility. But Simon is not a Broncos fan, by the way. He's a 49ers fan.
My second team is the Broncos, so that's okay.
Little Simon, maybe from a little bit more of an outside perspective, what do you think of the Broncos offseason?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Tough division this year. Chargers, of course, not doesn't win as expected last season. The roster improved quite a bit too. I think 10-6 is the best case scenario right now. I think, but I'm thinking that they're going for the second place in the division, and I think 9-7 is the way to go there. All right, awesome, good stuff, guys. Luca, what was your favorite move of the offseason from the Broncos?
I'm torn between Drew Casey and Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
I was over the moon when they picked Jeudy, but I really liked whatever they did with the Casey signing. I think he will be a vital part in that defense, and maybe even Vaughn and Chubb will profit of him even more this year.
Awesome. Well, I mean, as you guys know, sports are very few and far between out here in America, and it's really opened American sports fans' eyes to a lot of different leagues around the world. And one of the big ones, probably the best league that's playing right now, would be the Bundesliga. So I just kind of want to start with asking you to give us a bit of an overview of what the league's like. Who are the dominant teams? Who are the cellar dwellers? Who's kind of fighting to get up into the higher tiers? Like, just give us the summary of what's going on there in Germany.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows the two big teams like Dortmund and FC Bayern. I mean, Bayern with its dominance over the last years, the best players, they struggled early this season, but now with new coach Hansi Flick, they come right back into the domain. And Dortmund, I mean, have you ever heard of Erling Haaland?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, he's insane. When he came to Dortmund mid this season, 9 goals now in 10 matches. He's incredible, and the rivalry is in play. There are few teams behind that. There's not that much space between them, like Leipzig, like Gladbach. I heard you guys say Borussia Mönchengladbach. A week ago.
We did not say it the way you just said it.
Can you slow it down for us so we can actually learn how to say it?
Yeah, phonetics.
Borussia?
Borussia, I think we got.
München Gladbach.
München Gladbach.
Gladbach. It's
That's
the
correct.
München Gladbach.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite the same as Bayern Munich or Bayern München.
Right.
It's spelled a bit different, but you can say München Gladbach. It's way easier.
I like it.
That's our
And then-
unofficial squad right there.
Yeah, it really is.
And there's Leverkusen as well, but for me, especially Leipzig and Gladbach both have some innovative coaches like Julian Nagelsmann or Marco Rose, who are great coaches. With I like the style they play with the teams.
Yeah.
That were the best teams. I mean, Simon, if you want to do the worst teams.
The worst teams, you got a few one. The Bundesliga overall quite digressed in their skill level, I think, internationally over the past few years, especially in competitions like the Europa League, Europe League, or stuff like that. You have the top teams, Luca already mentioned, but there are many teams where you can't really say before the season where they end up. This season, for example, you've got Frankfurt, who's on 13th place right now. You could have thought that they might end up round about the 5th or 6th place after the top teams. And that's hard to say, really. The worst teams really are Paderborn, of course, just moved up from the second Bundesliga, and Fortuna Düsseldorf struggled over the course of the last decade. Now back into the Bundesliga, but their team isn't that set, really. They played a lot with loan players the last years, and also in the second Bundesliga. It hasn't changed that much, and the perspective for the future isn't quite well. The rest of the teams, for example, Bremen, Augsburg, or Cologne, Hoffenheim, all are teams which, after this season or after most of this season, kind of go on the Netherlands of the league, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And piggybacking off this discussion of kind of the best and worst teams, we do have on DraftKings Sportsbook, which gives us all these odds, and they also have futures. And as you've said, Bayern Munich has been the favorite, all along. Obviously, that's not really breaking any news. Started off slow. It really looked like Dortmund might have that rare year where they can win the title. But then with the coaching change, Munich has been back on top. Now, Dortmund to win the league, and they are just 4 points behind, is plus 450, which is really nice odds. Is that something you'd play? I know you guys are both Bayern fans, right? So maybe a little bias here in the question, but take your Bayern hats off. Do you think there might be some nice odds there to bet on Dortmund to make a late push and win the league here?
Sure. I mean, if you want to get on that, you need to do it right now or within the next week, because next week, the weekend after this one, they're playing each other, and after that, the odds, depending on the result, will decrease or increase largely. So, if you want to get on that, get on that. But for me, I believe with the season and its development, of course, Bayern Munich will succeed in the end.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that depth, even though the addition of Haaland has been huge for Dortmund. I want to get to Haaland in a second. Now, we also have some odds for the final four, the top four, the Champions League zone. What's been interesting is always staying with Haaland, the phenomenal attacker, maybe been the best player in the world this year. His going from our Red Bull Salzburg, or do we call him Leipzig? You guys tell me. I know I'm butchering every name I say.
It's Salzburg.
Okay, good. Does him leaving Salzburg give Leverkusen a better chance of sneaking into the top four? The odds for that, you can bet on that. That's a plus 125. I kind of like that.
You turned something around there because he came from the Austrian league from Salzburg.
Oh,
And,
right. I'm getting confused with Leipzig and everything, but
exactly,
still.
it's the same. It's the same company
Organization. It's all red.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. But
Everybody
can
was surprised
Leverkusen make
here.
that push in the top 4 though?
Sure, why not? I believe. I mean, last week you saw them playing against Gladbach. No, they're playing this week, I guess, and
Yep.
this will be a deciding factor.
Right.
So, if you that's a very exciting game. Especially I already wrote here is the fight for Champions League spot. But I think that the game for this week, the possession style of Leverkusen, they play a lot with the ball. That fits perfectly into the art how Gladbach plays football. So I believe Gladbach has better chances there today, and so maybe Leverkusen might be on the bad end there in the end.
Okay, good. Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, Simon, what are you looking at as kind of one of the games of the week? One of maybe a team that you like to pull off a win this weekend?
The game of the week, if there were any fans in the stadiums, would be obviously FC Cologne versus Düsseldorf, because it's a big rivalry here in Germany, probably the biggest in the league. But from a position standpoint in the league and maybe to go international, there are, I think, 2 games besides obviously mentioned Gladbach and Bayer Leverkusen to play versus Champions League. It's Freiburg versus Werder Bremen, which Freiburg needs to win to really stay, to really have a real chance on getting into to playing in Europe next year. On the other side, there's Wolfsburg versus Dortmund. Wolfsburg played decent versus Augsburg last week. Augsburg wasn't playing that well either, so that's not you can't compare to Dortmund this week, but it's both are playing at home, Wolfsburg and Freiburg, and both teams need to win to really have a clearer chance to making Europe football next season.
I like it. Yeah, let's last week I went off all the picks you gave me. I think the only one that didn't work out was Dusseldorf to win, which I know was an upset anyways. Gladbach, you told me you like them to win, but they're not good on the road. Well, it doesn't matter because there were no fans. So Gladbach won big. I am kicking myself for not taking the player prop of Haaland to be the first goal scorer in that Dortmund game, because insanely the kid did it again. Can he do it again this week? I believe the odds is him at plus 290 to be the first goal scorer in that game against Wolfsburg. Do you think he can do it again?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. I love it.
What were the odds last week?
Plus 360.
Oh,
so they've gone down already. It's insane how good this kid is. Now, the one bet I did win last week that you hadn't given me was in the Dortmund game to go over 3.5 goals. And I know one of our listeners on yesterday's pod told us that in the Wolfsburg-Dortmund game this week, that's another nice number. What do you guys think of that? You think this can be another high-scoring game?
Sure, why not? I think Dortmund has the second highest goal scoring stats. If you look at that, Bayern is at the top with 75 and Dortmund with 72. I mean, maybe you need to look more on how many games does Wolfsburg concede on a regular. So if I look that up really quick here, they have about
31 against. That's right in the top 6.
That's not that much.
No, it's not.
But they also score 36, so they're a low scoring team, either conceding or scoring. But I you have to believe in Dortmund, their squad, and Haaland. There's a huge chance this game goes over 3.5 goals.
Love it.
Awesome. Okay, so we're down for Haaland to score the first goal for sure. What other picks do you guys want to attach your names to here? Because I'm with Andre. I'm gonna ride with whatever you guys think is gonna go down.
How could we not?
Oh boy.
It's no pressure.
Please, I can give you one stay away game. It's Schalke with Augsburg.
Okay.
That's one game I don't really like to bet on. But I have a list. I have a few teams on those on this list where I don't take any bets anymore. Schalke is one of those teams. Internationally, it's Manchester United, but it's you can't really tell in either game. Schalke isn't playing really good in the last seasons. The last season obviously was pretty bad. The season before was they exceeded their expectation position-wise in the league, but they still don't play good. That's the case this season as well. And Augsburg is this team you never really you can't really tell if they have a good day or have a bad day. And I think although the odds on Schalke might be pretty interesting, I'm checking that right now.
Minus 103.
Yeah, it's don't take this one. I like Freiburg at home.
Ooh, nice. Freiburg.
And it's good odds, I guess. It's around about 300. No, not 300.
Yeah, plus 255 is what we're getting at Frankfurt. Very interesting. Okay, so
no, at home. Freiburg at home versus Bremen.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I like that one pretty much. Freiburg played good last week against Leipzig. Nobody expected them to score first, and Leipzig obviously had some trouble to come into or out of the Corona pause of the season. But Freiburg played quite well, and their team they struggled the last weeks before the season interrupted. But they came back quite good out of the pause. So that's one team to go for me next season. And Bremen obviously isn't good.
All right.
Before the pause and now, and I like that one.
All right, we're on Freiburg.
Beautiful.
And I would suggest Hoffenheim at Paderborn, because with the Corona situation and no home fans, the overall quality of the players is much more important. So I have Hoffenheim winning 3-1 against or at SC Paderborn.
You gotta that's one game where I think I bet on Hoffenheim last week. That doesn't went so well for me. They missed 3 of their top strikers. They missed. I think it was Kramaric, it was Belfodil and Bibu. I think. I would personally wait if there's any of those players coming back because they need one. Belfodil was obviously very good in these games where he started. Kramaric ever. He's their best striker right now, I think. When they play, I think they're pretty good odds. They take it away from away.
Okay. I like it. Now, Luca, you were telling me you're in second place in this league where you're picking games for the Bundesliga. Tell me about that. We're always interested in different games, different gambling methods, especially since, there's all these little variations around the world.
This is just a small family league with my brothers, sisters, my grandfather, my dad, and we do this every year. You bet, not really bet, but you say the outcome of every game, and you get points for that. And right now I'm in second place. And like you and your listeners last week, you profited from that as well, because last week was incredibly for me as well. So
it was a really nice week. So what exact scores do you have on your mind for this week? There we can. When you bet on the exact scores, you can really win the big money.
Yeah, sure. You get 4 points for the correct score. You get 3 points if you have the correct goal difference, and you get 2 points if you have the correct winner.
Wow, beautiful.
So 3-1.
You won all the scores?
No, you don't have to go through the whole thing. but we're gonna follow you on that 3-1 score that you mentioned a second ago. So, well, guys, this has been awesome. If any last tips you want to throw at us?
Let me see.
Is there anything you like in this Friday game with Hertha against Union?
I mean, if you look at that, the last matchup ended surprisingly in favor for Union, but that would have been another great game with fans inside Berlin, both teams. Yeah. Hertha had a lot of troubles with crazy manager discussion during the season and some on-field problems. Honestly, I would stay away from that because it's not easy to say who comes out on top.
All right. It might be a game where you can go for maybe low and lower goals than 2.5, for example.
That's a good shout.
It might be a game where Union is playing pretty defensively. They obviously played pretty defensively against Bayern Munich last week, but I think that's their kind of style. And Hertha doesn't have really the players to break through there realistically. So that might be some game where I'm taking the odds also to go less than 2.5 goals.
Awesome.
I like it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much. Luca, we appreciate you being a big part of the DNVR community. Simon, we consider you a part of the family as well. We always enjoy coming on with you guys, and it's really cool to know that, we have people that believe in us all over the world. So appreciate you guys, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Incredible experience for me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, Simon and Luca, big shout out to those guys. If you want to catch their podcast, especially if you're a German football fan, not like if you're an American football fan from Germany.
Speaks German, yes, or from Germany, yes.
Yes, the Cover 2 podcast is their podcast. You can find that anywhere you listen to podcasts. Really well done. Sometimes when they have guests on, like Andre or I, or apparently they had Wade Phillips on their podcast this week.
Right.
They switch it back to English, so we can actually interact with them, and that's pretty impressive right then and there that they can podcast in 2 different languages. Unfortunately, Dre, there's no one at DNVR that can podcast with you in Italian.
So true. That's so true. Ali and I could do some sort of crossover in Spanish and Italian, but I'm not sure anyone could listen to that really. So yeah, no, it was awesome having them on, man. That was really cool to get all those insights. Re-listening to it was fun too, because we had all those official picks, but there's even some other little tidbits like the Friday game, looking at the under and stuff like that. So that was really great having them on.
Yeah, and we'll get all those picks in a row somewhere. We can we'll tweet them out in a graphic before the game start. But we do have each one here, so why don't we just go through these quickly, Ali, as we go through some of the picks that they offered us here. And there we go. That's Holland to score first, plus 290. Man, I mean, he is on a tear,
dude.
Just dominating that league right now. So that's probably a good bet there. All right, we can roll the next one. That's Freiburg on the road, I believe. No, Freiburg was at home. Freiburg at home against Bremen. I can't pronounce it the way they do.
Yeah.
It's a nice little underdog there.
Yep, like that.
All right.
Lots of underdogs, lots of pluses here. You'll see.
There you go. Next one. We're still. Oh, no. So we have the Freiburg pick up here. We just need to. There it is. Paderborn is.
Hoffenheim to upset Paderborn. Paderborn's been at the bottom of the league. That was one of Simon's picks. I like that one quite a bit too. The plus 108, another upset for you.
All right, and then the last one, I believe this is the last one. There you go, over 3.5 in the Wolfsburg versus Dortmund game. I actually really think I'm going to get up early this Saturday to watch these games.
Yeah,
I'll bail on the late night KBO games so I can get up early and watch these. I'm excited to watch this Dortmund team play. They seem like a really fun team, and you weren't going to get the answer you were looking for asking 2 Bayern Munich guys if they think that Dortmund can catch them at the top of the table. But don't tell them. I think it might be a good play.
Yeah, I just like that plus 450. Why not? I mean, it's a crazy second half of the season. They're right there. They're going to play next week. Why not?
Exactly. So that was really fun. Big
Yes.
shout out to those guys. We're so appreciative of
time.
them for giving us some
Yeah.
time on German Father's Day. I think we determined it was, but neither of those guys were fathers. Michael there says he thinks it's up to 5.5 now. For us, DraftKings Sportsbook still has it at what, 3.5?
Yeah, you can actually bet all the over-unders. They have a bunch of different ones. It just depends on the odds you
juice.
want to place. Yeah, the juice. It's not dissimilar from UFC. You can bet whatever round ends in and who wins and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you want to go crazy, you can bet the over 5.5. If you want to stay a little safer, over 3.5 is great too, you know.
Exactly. All right, let's move on as we always do in the very last few minutes of the show, Andre. We talk KBO. I've got 3 picks for you tonight.
Nice.
And I'll start off here. I'm going Doosan Bears -1.5 against the Samsung Lions. I'm giving out
I like that.
the LG Twins -1.5 against KT Wiz.
Okay.
And I'm giving out Lotte Giants Kiwam Heroes over 9 tonight.
Very nice. I believe I'm the same way with the over on Heroes Giants. I also like the overs for Bears Lions and Twins Wiz. On top of that, I like Wyverns Tigers over, way over. The Wyverns pitcher has an ERA in the 50s. That's from 2 different starts so far this season. Because of that, I also like the Tigers money line. And then finally, I'm taking 1 under, and it's Dinos Eagles. I like that pitching matchup. Dinos have been a little tricky lately. Their pitching's coming around. I like the unders a little more there. So 1 under, Dinos Eagles, 1 money line, taking the Tigers over the Wyverns, and then overs for Wyverns Tigers, Twins Wiz, Bears Lions, and Heroes Giants.
There you go. That's a big slate. Is that 6 picks there, Andre?
That's 6. Getting back at it.
All right. That's
Feeling
a good
good, too.
slate there, and I'm feeling good about mine. You're going hard, and I hope you're sticking. I hope you're sticking to our rule there of getting action on anything you give out. It keeps you honest from not giving out, not getting too crazy out here. So there you go. Those are the picks for the night. Of course, we have the Bundesliga for the weekend. We'll be back tomorrow with more picks for you, more stuff. Hopefully we get a big night there, like Chris Hill, our guy Chris Hill there says. Let's go get it. So that's going to wrap it up for us today on DNVR Bets Daily. We'll talk to you guys soon. As you guys know, we're working with DraftKings Sportsbook, so make sure you download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use the code DNVR when you sign up. For a limited time, all new users can get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. The deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough and restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522